So we're going to talk about Julian Assange here, because there has been a bit of an update in regards to what's happening to him. So Julian Assange won't face charges over role in devastating CIA leak. The decision surprised national security experts and some former officials, given prosecutors' recent decision to go after the WikiLeaks founder on an espionage act. Justice Department has decided not to charge Julian for his role in exposing some of the CIA's most secret spy tools, according to a US official and two others familiar with the case. This is big news, and I'm going to say I'm not surprised they aren't going after him for this. This is something that Obama thought about doing and backed off as well, and I imagine the Justice Department has turned around and said, shit, Obama tried to do this or thought about doing this. He backed it off as well. Look, at the end of the day, this is bad because you're basically going to be locking up a journalist for talking about classified information that was given to him from sources. This is basically him then setting a pretense to go after every journalist or media publication, including yours truly, who has ever talked about WikiLeaks. Now, obviously, this is not Assange being completely off the hook. He still has to face the computer hacking crime, I presume. But we'll jump into it. So it's more surprising the national security experts and some officials, given prosecutors' recent decision. Okay, so the WikiLeaks founder is more controversial espionage charges that some legal experts say would not hold up in court. So like I say, I think they've gone through and assessed their options and thought, yeah, this is not going to work. This is not going to hold up. The decision also means that Assange will not face punishment for publishing one of the CIA's most potential arsenals of digital codes used to hack devices dubbed Vault 7. The leak, one of the most devastating in CIA history, not only essentially rendered those tools useless for the CIA, it gave foreign spies and rogue hackers access to them. That is completely false. Vault 7 was already leaked by that stage, and you could actually go on and... Sorry, freaking notifications keep coming up. You could actually go through and download them off the internet long before... Like, even WikiLeaks themselves, they talked about them. They talked about what they did, but they didn't provide a link to those tools. So that itself is complete BS, Politico. You got that wrong. Not only essentially rendered those tools useless. Prosecutors were stymied by several factors. First, the government is facing a ticking clock in its effort to extradite Assange to the United States from the United Kingdom, where he's been held. Extradition laws require the US to bring any additional charges against Assange within 60 days of the first indictment, which prosecutors filed in March, accusing Assange of helping former Army intelligence Chelsea Manning into hacking the military computers. Second, prosecutors were worried about the sensitivity of Vault 7 materials, according to an official familiar with the deliberations over whether to charge Assange. Breaching such classified subject in court risks exposing even more CIA secrets, legal experts say. The CIA has never officially confirmed the authenticity of the leaked documents, even though the analysis widely believe them to be authentic. And we know they are because they're available on the internet on hacking websites. Not linked by WikiLeaks, mind you. There are no questions that the leak case that can't be prosecuted against the leaker or the leaky because of the information is so sensitive for that. For your proof at trial, you would have to confirm its authenticity, said Mary McCord, who was Acting Assistant Attorney General for National Security at the Justice Department until 2017. So, ironically, often that it's higher the classification of the leaked material, the harder it is to prosecute. So instead, the Justice Department will go after Assange on one count of allegedly assisting Manning and 17 account Espionage Act indictment. There are no plans to bring any additional indictments prior to his extradition. So, while the Manning leaked indictment was an expected move, the Espionage Act charges startled the legal community as potential preceding settling action. Traditionally, the law has been used to punish government officials who reveal classified information, not the journalists and foreign nationals who publish the information. They're actually protected according to the First Amendment. Press freedom activists immediately warn that the criminalizing everyday journalist behavior, such as society's sensitive information from political sources, federal officers assist they have a strong case arguing that Assange is not a journalist, really, because he seems like one to me, and intentionally publish the name of confident sources in war zones over the objection of national officials. But then you'd have to prove that people died, which you can't, because you've already been asked that in court and you said no. Right? They were asked in court, I think after Chelsea Manning, to prove that anybody died because of these leaks, and they said they could not prove it. This is a comfort level with the National Security Establishment where the charges end up, the National Security Office told Politico. Still, just several months ago, numerous experts felt confident that prosecutors would also hit Assange with over Vault 7. Predominantly national security journalists predicted in February that DOJ would very clearly go after Assange for Vault 7 disclosure. Right. So Julian Assange scores legal victory as Swedish court denies detention requests. Julian Assange won a major legal victory on Monday when a Swedish court denied a request to detain the WikiLeaks founder over sexual assault investigations dating back to 2010. So the ruling by the Ethe District Court is a setback for the prosecutors who were hoping to issue the European arrest warrant for Assange and his arrest to his extradition from the United Kingdom to Sweden. The court agreed with prosecutors that Assange could possibly pose a flight risk, but said detention would not be predominant. The Swedish rape investigation was the reason Assange spent most of the several years in self-imprisoned, exiled in the London's embassy. Completely factually inaccurate. Yeah, you can't. No. Raven, I totally agree. He was not in there, in the embassy, because of the rape allegations. Okay? That's a complete load of crap. Because the rape allegations, he was actually working with Swedish authorities in giving them statements regarding that. If he was running away from the rape allegations, him and his legal team would not be facilitating or answering questions or giving video testimony or whatever it may be regarding this Swedish case. Okay? Julian Assange and his legal team were working with the Swedish authorities in answering any questions they had regarding that. The reason why he was in the Ecuadorian embassy was because at the end of the day, he was worried that this Swedish rape case, which from what I understand is the crux is a girl got a STD and she blames Julian for it. That's supposedly the crux. If you actually go through and actually have a look at the real Swedish rape case and what because that's the name the media is giving it. What it was this girl hooked up with Julian Assange. She's hooked up with a couple of other guys later. And then she got an STD. And she is blaming Julian Assange for the STD. That's not a rape case. Okay? According to the testimony and everything like that, the sexual encounter with him and her was totally and utterly consensual. So I don't know where they're getting this whole rape case thing from. Because apparently it's more about a girl getting an STD and trying to blame Julian for it. Mind you, she wasn't exactly picky about who she slept with. I don't know if that says a lot about her or Julian, but regardless. But at the end of the day, she had a few boyfriends after that. She got an STD somewhere between point A and point B. And she is naturally blaming Julian Assange. But anyway. The WikiLeaks founder walked into the building in June 2012, shortly after losing a long extradition battle to the UK Supreme Court. He remained... No, he thought that the UK was going to hand him over to the US. Oh, by the way, have you heard the US is currently trying to extradite Julian Assange? I wonder why he might have tried to run and hide in the Ecuadorian embassy. Like, I wonder why. Assange's lawyer, Pierre Ezevio, said Monday that his client declined the accusations, also agreed that detention would be disproportionate. He added that Assange has always wanted to cooperate with the investigation, and he has. He's answered questions. He's even tried to give them video testimony. He's encouraged them to come to the Ecuadorian embassy so they can question him. It's funny because Sweden doesn't seem to want to be too sorted out regarding this. Sweden could have easily gone to the Ecuadorian London's embassy, sat down with Assange and interviewed him and had this whole incident removed and over and done with by now. But for some reason, Sweden doesn't seem to want to. Wonder why. Said that the rape allegations are one of 4 sexual assault accusations that Assange is facing after his visit to Sweden in August 2010. The case never moved much beyond the investigation stage, and Assange has not been charged with any crimes in the country. No. Anyway. In August 2015, the statute of limitations on 3 of the 4 allegations lapsed under Swedish law. Any charges relating to the 4th allegation of rape must be made by August 2020. The probe into the alleged rape was suspended in 2017 as a result of Assange's continued residence in the embassy. What? You couldn't go to the embassy and ask him questions? They invited you. Why couldn't you go and ask questions? On Monday, the judge said that in order to finish the investigation, prosecutors could issue a European investigation order, which would make it impossible for them to interview Assange, and conclude their inquiry. The prosecutor said the investigation will continue, but didn't give any details about the next steps, because there's not a lot. But this rape allegation is so bogus, it really, really is. But anyway. Since his arrest in April, Assange has been sentenced to nearly a year in the UK prison over bail violations, stemming from whether he's first entered the Ecuadorian embassy. He's also facing a US extradition request. I wonder why he went to the Ecuadorian embassy. He's facing a UN extradition request, right? But up here, they claim it was because of the Swedish rape case. I wonder. CNN fake news? Assange was indicted on the United States on 1 count of conspiracy to commit treason. He was then charged with 17 counts under the Espionage Act for his role in receiving published national defense information in concert with former Army intelligence analyst Chandler Manning. The Swedish court decision means the US will not have to compete with Sweden over the extradition request is given priority. But then we've seen this won't roll over this. So like I said, they are talking about the CIA hack. We don't know if that's all the 17 charges. To me, that seems like they're just not going to prosecute him over the Vault 7 stuff. So maybe he's still going to get charged with the other charges. Maybe they're still going to go after him for that. I would have to wait to see. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a huge mistake. If they go after Julian Assange because he's a publisher or because he's a journalist, that is a very big mistake. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.